Well, hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another edition, another episode of Tech Beats and Bytes. My name is Michael Hall, and I'm here with the only person that keeps this together, the one that makes the show look good, my better half, the one with all the knowledge, also known as the president of Digital Grass.
Yeah.
Her name is Latoya Sturb. Let's give her a round of applause for my
make noise,
co-host.
make
Thank
noise.
you. Yes. Good to see y'all. Another Monday in the place to be.
Made it to another Monday, just another day. How y'all feeling today? Y'all all right? All right, so y'all know the way this works. We're going to talk about topics, tech beats and bytes, technology, the music, entertainment industry, and the bites is for the food provided by House of Mac, also Brazilian Fire, you know, always been holding us down. We appreciate y'all over there. Mr. Bean with ice cream, but also bites of knowledge from the community and just some information to share with you. Make sure you're a little bit smarter than you were earlier today when you was reading whatever you was reading. So, ladies, we know you, but people watching live, people in the crowd, they may not know you. So why don't you introduce yourself real quick to the people?
Well, we are Flourish Media. I'm Vivian Oliden. This is Tracy Timberlake. And we run a boutique marketing firm, and we master in converting online communities. That's what we do.
All right. Master in converting online communities. And you said Flourish Media, right?
Flourish Media, that's us.
What happened to your voice, girl?
I have a cold, so I'm really bringing you sexy today.
All right.
Somebody
Quiet
get us a wipe that mic down when we done.
Yes.
We can't afford to be getting sick.
Disinfect afterwards.
All right, I was just saying. I thought you was going for something new. I like it, though. It's cool. Work with it. Dr. Timberlake.
Hello.
I've been waiting to say that all week. I was like, oh, yeah, she is a doctor. I can just say it.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself since Vivian did the overall introduction. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. So as Vivian said, we are Flourish Media. I am Dr. Tracy Timberlake. I just finished school and just graduated.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, look at
Thank
y'all.
you so much. And yeah, we, as she said, we run a marketing firm. What we really do is we really help small businesses and entrepreneurs understand the power of social media
Okay.
in the online space and using it not just for brand awareness, but also to bring dollars into their business because that's really important.
So I was reading something. Somebody on this stage has made 6 figures from social media. I don't know who that was. It could have been a doctor. I'm just saying, 6 figures. So
Yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about that journey of how you made 6 figures through
Absolutely.
social
So
media?
I started off as a YouTube vlogger, and that's pretty much it. As a YouTube vlogger, I was able to kind of hack the system and do things a little bit differently. So not only was I, understanding how to make YouTube videos, but I was also understanding how to build a business from it, right? Because the YouTube platform is great. It's great for building brand awareness. It's great for creating content. But what content creators don't understand is that when you're making that content, you really need to think like you are a business. And so that's what I was able to do. And so in doing that, just mastered that system and started to replicate it and teach it to other people. Met Vivian through that, and that's a big part of what we get to do together.
I was just about to ask how'd y'all meet, so you got that part. What exactly was you talking about, though? Was you talking about, actually, I just want you to answer it because I could speculate. What exactly were you talking about to build a business of your vlogging situation? What was your...
So it's more than just making videos. It's really understanding the power of the path to profit or the sales funnel.
I like that.
Yes, from what you're doing. Like,
Yeah.
The path to profit.
Yes.
It's
Put it
key,
on a
it's
t-shirt.
key.
right?
Path to profit.
That should be a product. Do you have a package
Indeed,
called
we
Path
do have
to
a
Profit?
We
package.
do. Yes, we do. That's what we teach people how to do. So when we teach them how to
Buzzwords all
right?
day. Just
convert online communities, it's creating their path to profit. So you're not just posting on Instagram. There's a reason why you're posting on Instagram. You're not just making a YouTube video. There's a reason why, and that reason why is your path to profit.
So not to give the whole bag away,
Yeah.
but what are some of the tips or the tricks that you give in your Path to Profit package or your class? Share a little bit with us.
Oh, yeah, so there's so many. So I think the most important part is really understanding who you're talking to in the online space. So when we talk about social media, right, understand that social media is, in fact, social. Like, that's what it's there for. A lot of people, when they get started as entrepreneurs or as business owners, they think, okay, I'm just going to blast my event, or I'm going to blast, my products in the online space, and that's all that they do. So they're just asking for the sale. And so one of the things that, we like to talk to our clients about is the concept of giving before you start asking for something. You really need to position yourself as somebody of value, as an expert in your field, as an expert in your industry, before you ever ask for anybody to buy anything from you. And so that is one of the main things that we talk about in our Path to Profit.
So Vivian, I mean, a lot of people might be like me. I feel I'm an expert in a lot of but that don't mean it really works out that way. How do you actually deem yourself to be an expert in a topic to make it a profitable situation?
Well, you know what? When I was managing all of the marketing for Coldwell Banker, we had $4.3 million that I had to manage and use in advertising.
Hold on. Let's rewind that and say that one. I love how we get people on the stage and they so humble.
Right.
I was just managing a couple of $1 billion, and I'm just say that one more time. What was you doing for Caldwell? Let's say that
Say
one
it
more
in the
time.
mic.
I was marketing director for Coldwell Banker for Southeast Florida, and in that I managed $4.3 million.
Give her a round of applause, black woman managing $4.3 million at Caldwell Banker. Let's give her a round of applause. Go ahead.
Thank you. So when you're looking at where you're going to spend those types of dollars, it's very important that you're able to get your return on investment. So when I was working in that capacity, I could say that year that Coldwell Banker sold 5 of the 7 most expensive homes in the entire United States, including the Versace mansion. So I was a part of that team that was behind the scenes on that whole thing. So you can call yourself an expert when you spend all of your time and all of your energy. Tracy and I spend a lot of time thinking about how many hours does it really take before you can call yourself an expert.
Isn't it 10,000 or is that a genius?
That's what they say. It's 10,000 hours.
10,000 hours. So that means when you can call yourself Dr. Tracy Timberlake, or myself, I have 3 degrees and master's degrees behind me with everything that I'm doing. And I've been doing social media marketing for over a decade. And I have over 50 clients that can come back and say to you, Vivian helped me to raise my revenue at the bottom line. So in that area, you can say that you're an expert. Now, if you really love something, let's say you really love music, you really love a type of traveling, you really love a certain fitness regimen, and you're very good at that, and you're spending all your energy on that, and you start to have opinions about that, because that's a part of the process in education where you're getting your master's degree. When you write your thesis, you're writing your opinion on something, and you're solidifying yourself as an expert in an industry. And when you can start to show people that you have an opinion that doesn't exist elsewhere, that you can do something better than the next 100 people, that's when you can say that you're an expert in something.
All right. Yeah. So, Self-Born wanted me to ask this question. Have you ever bought the clicks or likes for any of your clients? And if not, how did you avoid that?
No,
it's okay, Tracy. I know.
We don't do that. And it's really interesting that you asked that, because people will come to us and they've hired other social media teams prior to, and they said, oh, well, all they did was buy, a whole bunch of likes. But see, we understand, and this, being on the platforms before I ever even started marketing myself as an expert, likes mean nothing. Like, likes is like monopoly money.
Hold on. Say that again for everybody that be liking Tech Beats and Bytes. Say that one more time.
Well, no, likes are important. It's good to know that we're creating content for you. But in terms of, the revenue or the path to profit, likes don't mean anything. So you can get a whole bunch of likes. It was one of the things that I think frustrated me the most when I was on YouTube. Like, how do I have millions of people who have watched my videos, but I'm not making any money?
Did you say millions?
Yeah, millions of people. And I call this my...
You should have hung out a lot more.
I call this my 1.5 million mistake, because that's when I realized, like, why are so many people watching me? Why do I have tens of thousands of people that are following me and I'm not making any money? Because likes and followers and fans don't mean anything if you don't have a path to profit.
So talk about that conversion point where you went from those fans and followers to actually then making money.
So that's where the expertise really comes in. When you are a content creator in whatever capacity, when you start to create content and people start to follow you, you're a leader to those people, because leadership is just influence, right? Like, you are influential to those people. So you have to figure out, how can I monetize the fact that I'm influential? For some people, they are the brand, so they're selling themselves. They're an Instagram model, right? So they're selling their
look,
their look. Right. For me, it was, okay, well, I actually know how to do this, and I can do it in a strategic way, in a systematic way, that's essentially proprietary information that I can transfer to other people so that they can start making videos. And a lot of entrepreneurs don't understand YouTube anyway, so it was just an easy thing to monetize for myself. Like, oh, you don't understand YouTube? Great, let me show you how to do it.
Right.
So I just want to rewind a certain part. I would have asked Self-Born to drop a beat, but you just, in a way, you just gave a shout out to the Instagram thought models.
See, that goes to my question.
Girl.
That's why I got a question.
Go ahead, Self. I figured you was going there, so I'm just opening it up for you.
I mean, man. So, as a lady on the internet, keyword lady, give like 3 points to maintain integrity while not just shopping for clicks.
Ooh.
Yeah.
3 points, 3 like guidelines maybe you
That
would.
was a good one, sir.
That's a good one.
Because I'm smart. You didn't know that? Yes, well, I'm back here. But, because shopping for a wife on Instagram is kind of hard. I'm just saying. This is a personal.
First of all, you call it shopping. That's the first part.
I mean,
we just
I'm
gonna
still-
move back.
Remember, but I mean, a couple weeks ago we talked about.
I know we can't go there right now. I know.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and give them them 3
Are you
points later.
talking
3 points.
about maintaining integrity as a business person or just as a female, as you said?
Both.
See, that's for you to answer, young lady.
Both.
But both. I would say both.
I would say both.
It's both in general, but you all
Brand
have a lot of
integrity
liberty.
means a lot, no matter
Brand
what.
integrity does mean a lot. Yeah, I would say. I think that speaks.
I got a better one. How about we'll challenge you this way?
Okay.
How about the brand integrity of Nike, Louis Vuitton versus the lady that's promoting herself on the internet? How do you keep those balanced with those 3 brands?
Yeah, I think. Okay, so here, according to my research, because I
Like
did
that,
research
Michelle?
this.
That was a good one.
It is a part of my dissertation. There's something called oversharing. In 2015, they added it to the dictionary. It was like the word of the year.
Absolutely.
Oversharing. There is a chemical process in the brain that makes people feel good when they start to overshare things. So when you're talking about brand integrity, from a person, like a one-person person, versus an entire company. See, a person has a personality, they have themselves. A company doesn't have any identity other than what the company presents, and that's why they get brand influencers to work with them. So I think as a person, if you have to decide why you're on the platform. First of all, like, are you on the platform because you just want likes? Because then, sure, do whatever you want. Then it's kind of like, no holds barred. You can do whatever you want if you just want likes, because that's how people get likes.
And it's your goal.
Right, it's to get likes, right. But when you're actually a brand, you have to consider, if you're working with other brands, what they represent, and then what you represent as well. And I think the core values of your brand, before you ever become a brand, I think that's something that you really need to figure out, like what those core values are and how far you're willing to go before you go there.
I mean,
That's dope. Yeah. That's an amazing corporate answer. Okay, so now can we take it to the young ladies, right?
hold on. We're going to go there because, this is my thing.
Go ahead.
Me and Teach have talked about this. Like, if I could be somebody on social media, I would be the black version of Gary Vee.
Okay.
Do it.
Okay.
For those that don't know, tell them who Gary Vee is.
Yes,
Gary
who is
Vaynerchuk.
Gary Vee? Let us know.
I don't even know how do
Gary
you
Vee
do
is
it?
Gary
Gary
Vaynerchuk?
V's an
Gary
internet
Vaynerchuk.
marketer.
Yeah.
I don't know how you wrap him up in a short. Just look him up. If you don't know Gary Vee, you look him up. You'll keep watching him every day. But
he's like a social media guru. He started out advertising and really promoting his family's winery business, and then that just sort of spun into him having a social media digital marketing agency. So now he basically does tons of content where he provides tips. He has books, and it's all about empowering entrepreneurs to then get in the space and do exactly what you all are talking about, converting your fans into dollars.
so that's where I was going to go with.
But
the
he's also very real. I think that's
Very
probably
real.
why.
I was going to say though,
Yeah.
but with the basis of conversion, certain people can't be Gary Vee without being
Right.
offensive and
Yes.
hurting people's
And
feelings.
that's the point of where my
Yeah.
question
So,
came
yeah.
from.
So where do you draw that line of being real versus being offensive?
Well, I think there's something to be said about being authentic to yourself. I don't think that you should ever at any point design your business around someone else. You should always, when you're going to put something out there in the world of social media and digital advertising, you should have, 3 to 5 brands that you are aspiring to benefit from the best parts of whatever they're doing. So if you look at Gary Vee and you like that he's being raw, that he's being open, then you need to do that, but you need to be able to do that in your own voice. And when you do it in your own voice, you will never be as offensive as you think, because every single person was made uniquely unto themselves, and every single person has something special to share with the world that is important to the world, and they will add value to the world at large when you are being yourself.
Right, and isn't there truth too in the idea of not trying to be liked by everyone?
Exactly. You
Yeah,
don't need
you
to be
can't-
liked by
yeah.
everyone, especially on social media, because everybody's not going to give you their money. One of the things that I had to come to terms with when I converted from being a corporate person to being a entrepreneur, running my own business and working with Flourish Media, is that when you're a corporate person, you have to appease everybody. You want to reach everyone because you want everybody's money. But when you're running your own business, you as a person will align yourself with other people who feel the same kind of alignment, that you have the same kind of ultimate goals at the end, and you're not going to be liked by everybody.
Yeah.
We learned that in elementary school.
Right, and I think that's...
And it's okay.
Yeah, and
Right.
that is, I mean, that's
Wait, you
part
mean
of digital
really everybody
leadership,
don't
though.
like me?
Right, well, that's part of digital leadership. Like, you have to be able to be polarizing, because as a leader, you will be polarizing, and I think that's what Gary Vee brings to the table, is he has a polarizing opinion. One thing that I always say, especially as a YouTuber, and if you've seen any of my live streams or some of my YouTube videos, like I say very polarizing things that I know will probably offend people. I always preface it and say, I know that this is polarizing. I know this might be offensive. So people understand, like, I'm not being judgmental, I'm being educational. Because there are things that you need to understand in the space, like just for the sake of getting honest with yourself so that you can move forward. And that's what Gary Vee does.
I was supposed to preface that post before I put it up last night.
You don't have to. I just do it. But you don't have to.
That's not in your MO, and that's okay. That's what we're talking
That's
about.
authentic
not
to
you.
me. That's right.
That's not you. That's not you.
So what are some of the biggest misconceptions of growing a brand that people come to you guys with? Because I've seen some of your sessions at Venture Cafe, and it's so funny to see people just walking out of there, their eyes are glazed. They're like, oh my God, we didn't know this. And they just sit in the hallway, and then they start stalking y'all for the next 13 minutes, like, please answer this question before I go so I can just go home feeling satisfied. What are some of the biggest misconceptions of growing a brand through social media that you guys have been kind of teaching people with?
My favorite thing to bring to people's forefront when it comes to social media is that social media is social. It's social. Like, people are there to have a good time. They want to connect with their cousin or, you know, somebody they're stalking, their ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. They're having a good time.
Yeah, she went right to the
You
stalking
know,
part.
You're having a good time indulging yourself and just feeding yourself all the good things. So when you come in there and you say, hey, I got a product, hey, I got a service, but give me your money. They're not there for that. So you need to spend your energy on social media talking about your clients and letting them know the value that they're going to get from giving you their money, because they're not sitting on their ass waiting to give you their money. That's not what people are doing. And you are also not an important part of their money. You're not giving them food, you're not providing shelter, you're not providing, you know, several things that are just core, they're at the core important to people. So how dare you think that just because you've come out with a new T-shirt that somebody wants to buy your T-shirt? What is the message behind the T-shirt that makes them want to choose not to save money and buy a house next week and give you their $10 for their T-shirt?
You
have to
real
value
fast.
people's
You went from
money.
a T-shirt to buying a house. Just
Hey, I come from real estate.
rethink your whole finances. Just
Every dollar counts.
Every dollar.
Right?
So Tracy, before you answer that question, we had a young gentleman up here, Matthew, 9 years old. Matthew got eyes of an angel. How would Matthew's mom profit off of him? Like, what's the conception of
The
growing?
eyes of an angel.
You got to see Matthew's eyes. Where's Matthew?
He has really pretty
It's
eyes.
their innocence just coming through.
Nah, it wasn't that. Matthew had like all kind of. Nah, it was artistic. This this
Yeah.
man is like model ready.
Well, then start there.
Model ready
Take
at
some
9.
photos.
Like,
Right. Get the kid an agent.
but a lot of people just don't realize their kids just ain't that pretty. Some people got ugly babies, and I'm sorry to the people. I know everybody baby is cute to them, but some people babies just ain't
you
gonna make
preface
it.
that
Right.
to be
This,
polarizing.
this,
Exactly.
this might
That
offend
polarizing
somebody
comment.
that got an ugly baby, but Matthew mama is real happy because Matthew is beautiful. So I'm just saying, how do some people have to understand their brand is not going to do what they do? Because I've seen some people come to y'all and ask y'all questions, and y'all just kind of smile. Y'all keep that very innocent smile on y'all face. And deep inside, I can see y'all mind like, you ain't even ready. Like, you really shouldn't even have an Instagram account. So how do you help people understand the true honesty of growing a brand? Come on, doctor, tell us.
Okay, so I mean, step one
Here we
really
go.
is.
Y'all got y'all notes? Let's go. Step 1.
You have to write. Step one is clarity of the brand. And when I say clarity, I mean understand your target market like the back of your hand. You
That's a good
cannot
one.
be on social media and then one day I'm posting about hair and then the next day I'm posting about shoes and then the next day like, you really have to laser focus now more than ever, because it's so saturated. Everybody has a social media account, right?
Right.
So it's so quote unquote saturated. You have to be able to differentiate yourself from everybody else. What is it that you do that is better than 100 other people in your same industry? That's the question that we ask. What do you do better than 100 other people? Start there and build your brand from that place. A lot of the times people come to us and they just want to do everything all at one time, and we say, no, please focus. You have to be able to niche down to the microest niching possible so that you understand your target market. And I mean, really speak to them. So when you're creating content, understand that you're talking to those people. You're not posting for yourself. Like
Right.
you're posting so that you are communicating your expertise, your services, value to that person.
Dope.
That is step one.
That was
All right,
dope.
I got my follow-up question to mine. Now, specifically,
Go ahead. We're
what
gonna pass out
advice?
the toy, then we'll go to
Because
the
I want to
hot
know advice, like seriously, to a young lady, right, or someone that would be coming up after you. Because, for example, you have two, you want to call them brands. You've got Cardi B and Black China, right? Where they seriously, where they started their brands from. Tell me, what advice would you give that young lady that could go in one of those directions? Because I got to tell you, Cardi B, you see what she turned her situation into on a positive side, and then we see Black China. I got to give you the streets. Talk to me.
Don't
Let's
get
go.
licked.
I'm going to be completely honest because I've been living in Miami a long time, and Black China came from right here. And I know what her goals are, and I feel that Black China has always been authentic to herself. And she has always used all of the skills and things
That was so
Assets
polite
that
of
she
you.
has accomplished over time to get to her exact goal. So I think that while other people might not like it, Black China has continued to be authentic to herself, and she has used social media in the exact perfect way to reach her goals. In the same way, Cardi B has been authentic to herself. She is that girl from New York who says crazy things and does crazy things, but she's respectful to herself and to her family within the midst of the things that she's doing, and she's been able to turn that into money. Now, what I would like to see is people who are spending their time reading to children, those people who are in their church, at their temples, and doing things that are on the mainstream scene as positive, to be just as ambitious and not afraid of being visible, so that there is an equal saturation of people who have positive things to say. Because if you want people to see positivity and you offer what you say is positivity, then why are you keeping that to yourself? That's a disservice to everyone else, because social media is there for everybody to use.
Right.
So if you used it in the same way, you could be just as influential, because there's a lot of people who write books for children. There's people who know how to have specialized skills, like they know how to sew, they know how to curate different things. They're painters, they're artists, and they're not using social media, and they should be.
But really quick on that point, because we talk about this quite often, is the engagement level on content that is good,
Positive content.
Positive content
I was about
versus
to ask that question.
Exactly.
ratchet
Yeah.
content.
Exactly.
So what sort of advice, because you're just talking about people who write books for children or do things for the greater good, but they don't necessarily get a lot of the buy-in immediately from people on social media. What are some sort of tips or advice that you have for those people in that position when they're like, wait a minute, I'm posting something that makes sense, could be good for your kids, but you want to like this crazy
Right.
video over
What
here.
Toya really trying to ask y'all is, I snapped off on somebody yesterday, and that was about 100 likes. But you post something positive out of business.
Exactly.
It's about 10 likes and 1 share. So what is it in the, I guess it's almost like an endorphin release, though. People chase another kind
It
of high.
absolutely is.
Yeah.
So what is it about people that they're just more inclined to share gossip and negative content versus positive content?
People
And how do
hate
you
their
work
lives.
around that?
Yeah, how do you, but yeah, that's
Right, that's where
the
follow-up.
advice
How
comes,
do you
exactly.
Say
work
that
around
again, Tracy.
People hate their lives.
Yes.
That's the reason why.
God
They
damn.
want to feel
Hey,
good.
drinks
about
for everybody on Tracy. Tracy, just let me know y'all hate y'all life.
Well, I mean, because the truth of the matter is that 70% of people in this country are unhappy with their jobs. So that means if you're unhappy with your job, that is going to affect everything, right? And so we're just moving into a time and a space, especially for women, where we are just now able to control the narrative in a way that we never have been able to before. So naturally, when people are not feeling very good, like you've heard the saying, misery loves company, when they see that, they're like, oh yes, somebody else feels like that too, like, right? And I mean, I've seen this on many levels, from just like that to even people talking about me, you know, like,
Right.
I've seen it on very large scales, and it's like, the thing that makes me the most sad is not that somebody is talking about me, it's that look at all the comments right underneath it of everybody who has never met me before, doesn't know what I do, but they're just
chiming in.
Right, like, oh yes, and it's just the negativity that that people exhibit simply because they're not very happy with their lives. And that's just the reality of it, is we don't know how to live in ways where we are able to express the things that we want to express. We're held back a lot, whether that's creatively, or in other ways. You have to work this job, but you really hate it. You are in this relationship, but you hate it, and you don't know how to get out.
I always feel that way about couples that take way too many pictures and post them on Instagram.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Like, if your life was that good, if you got that much time to pose for that many photos, y'all really ain't that happy.
Because you wouldn't even be focused on your phone.
Right, because it's like you want to prove something to the world, right? So I think that's why the negative stuff
does what it does.
Right, it's so prevalent, is because it resonates very deeply on the inside with a lot of people.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, more people start to promote more positivity.
We know that ain't gonna happen, but good luck. Toya, we gonna hit them with the hot six real quick?
Before we do that, I just wanted to talk about Flourish Media Conference.
Yes. Oh yes, that's right.
I'm sorry. So talk a little bit about the inspiration behind that, why you started it, and what's happening for the next one.
Which was a great conference, by the way. Y'all had an amazing lineup. I was very proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Go ahead, tell us about the conference.
Okay, so Flourish Media Conference is going to be happening February 16th and 17th at Florida International University South Campus, the main campus. And what we have at that conference is very sexy, is that we reach back into our book of clients, and we ask them to put together money so that women entrepreneurs can pitch and get an investment for their business. So one of our great supporters is actually here. You won't see him on the live stream, but he is here.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
He's one of the venture capitalists. He always supports us and is a part of the group that made $15 million available. Don't crowd him too hard.
We got a hashtag FFFFFVC.
What does that stand for?
It's the hex code for a white VC.
White VC.
Y'all get that. It'll hit you a whole nother. It'll come later. It's a whole nerd thing. Go ahead.
Jokes.
But that's amazing. So I remember y'all talked about that. You bought $15 million to the table. Even with the difficulties, y'all had a great turnout. I know they made y'all switch like mid-venue.
Oh my goodness, like 3 times.
Right.
Seems like FIU in certain buildings always have a fire alarm when there's an event going on.
Toilet is clogged.
Because we went through that.
Yeah, we went through that.
Yeah.
All right, so February 16th and 17th, right?
February 16th and 17th.
We'll have to push that. We'll bring y'all back out in January and make sure we make that happen.
Thank you.
All right. So real quick, hot six. Favorite artist, dead or alive?
I like Erykah Badu.
Oh, okay.
I like Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Who?
You said Michael? MJ?
Michael? Okay. Go ahead, Toya.
What?
Favorite drink?
I like a Midori Sour.
Midori sour.
Simple. I'm just like a vodka soda girl.
Straight up and down, right?
Right. Hard liquor.
So the crowd realizes they really didn't gain nothing about you, and we got to plug into you and see a TV show or a movie. What are we watching? What's going to best represent you? Right now, my life is power. I'm telling you right now.
My life, oh my God, it's not on TV, but it should be.
I know.
But I
People
enjoy
tell us all the time.
What would be the closest thing to represent it, though? Or even a movie?
Yeah.
Maybe a movie, not a TV show.
Oh my God. I don't know there's something that represent, but I enjoy Mean Girls. I like that show.
Mean
the
Girls.
Movie. The Mean Girls movie.
I don't know that one either.
I think it's
Little
hilarious.
guilty
Right, it's like a
Yeah.
teeny bopper movie.
Yeah.
It's a teeny
okay.
bopper movie.
It's a throwback.
Timberlake?
I like Mean Girls too. I'm gonna go with Clueless. Yeah, that was But I'm no longer clueless. But if it was my life,
All right, so you got one more for him, then I'm going to close it out.
I do. Where do we see you in 5 years? What are you doing?
Oh, Toya, you set up a good one for me. I got a good one for
Okay. I think in 5 years you would see me doing exactly what I'm doing now, but on a larger scale, because we're connecting with more business owners. We are creating more courses online, and people are purchasing those courses. And we want to be able to do more workshops and masterminds and help more people to make more money using social media.
Love that.
in 5 years, I will be a New York Times bestseller in 5 years.
Okay.
All right.
Less than 5 years.
You already have the book in the works?
Yes, my dissertation will become a book. So I'm just working on it now.
Oh, you could give us a little sneak peek, something. Title.
Yeah, so it's really just about the perception of success among female entrepreneurs.
That's
And,
what's up.
Yeah.
We are tech. We support female entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
So, in your closing question, you get to do everything you want to do. You change social media the exact way you want to, and the world is perfect. Miami Herald runs a headline on a newspaper. What does that headline read?
About Flourish. Let's do it about Flourish.
About Flourish? What is it?
I don't know.
They're collaborating on the answer right now.
Right. It's supposed to be a hot six,
Yeah,
six
it's-
days. Hot six.
It's like a game
Partnership.
show. Like they're in a game show coming up with the right answer.
Brown girls change the world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Girls change the world. All right, y'all heard it. 5 years from now, the girls will change the world. Let's give a round of applause to our guests tonight. We really
Thank
appreciate
you so much.
Vivian
Thank
and
you,
Tracy
ladies.
coming out, holding
Good
it down.
stuff.
Flourish Media. We're gonna get ready for part 2. Tech Beats and Bytes, Digital Grass, World Famous House of Mac. But I'm telling y'all, don't go anywhere because the guest is gonna be the creator of Tech Beats and Bytes, Chef Teach, and don't forget about our amazing host. Ladies, don't leave. We got to take a picture. And our sponsors, that'll be Night Foundation. So we're going to give y'all 2 songs, 2.5 songs to make your way to the bar. We got a bar special going on right now. The ice is extra cold. Extra cold ice right now at the bar. Make your way to the bar and get a drink, and we'll start the show in 2.5 songs. We'll be right back. Y'all might know him as the man that comes out the yellow truck. You may have known him as previously being the manager of Pitbull. You may know him for making the best mac and cheese on the East Coast, the West Coast, the Middle Coast, every coast. You may know him as one of the most humblest dudes in South Florida. We know him as the Rainmaker, the Peacekeeper, the one and only. Let's give it up for Chef Teach of House of Mac.
Yeah. Make some noise. Make some noise.
That was real weak. We're going to try that one more time. Let's give it up for Chef Teacher House of Mac. There we go.
All right.
There we go. Now fade them out. Fade them out. Superhero music. Fade them out.
Show the love.
Yeah,
Back
my
to
show.
you. Look, man. Every once in a while, you know, we had another superhero. We had Matt Hagman up here. Had some amazing women up here. You know, every week I'm blessed to have LaToya. I felt very insecure when she called in sick and couldn't make it to the stage. Felt empty.
Oh,
I felt empty.
I was here in spirit.
I know. But it's only one reason why we're here. And that's because of the man in the middle. We ain't talking about Michael Jackson. We talking about Derek, Chef Teach. Teach, talk to the people, man. Welcome to the stage, sir.
Hey, you. What's up? How y'all doing?
Come on, man. Y'all not feel. Do y'all understand we would not be here if it wasn't for him?
He said, if y'all don't give up energy, y'all cut off of macaroni and cheese.
Hey, man, stop making the Mac. Shut down the truck right now.
He know to distribute. No, I mean like cut off in life. He know all of the real. You can't get no more cheese,
All
no
the
more
way
damn
around.
macaroni.
Shut it all the way down. Shut it up.
Nah, but first of all, I want to say thank you for everybody that been coming out and consistently supporting Tech Beats and Bytes. That's just a concept that me and Mike came up with. Me, Mike, and actually Fly Guy came up with about 2.5 months ago because I just felt like it was a void in the marketplace. It wasn't a place that was like just like I'm a nerd. I'm a big nerd. Like I like tech. I love tech. I've always loved tech, and I just felt like we needed like a cool place to bring together tech and vibe and lifestyle and just networking, and I just felt like it was a void, so we decided to put this together on a Monday night, and it's evolving into something bigger than we even imagined it would be. So I appreciate y'all coming out and supporting that first and foremost.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Round of applause for yourself for coming out and supporting us. None of this would be possible without you. So, Teach, let's just jump right into it, my man. I know you thought you was going to look at these notes, but the notes are written as they go, not in advance.
I'm good.
What made you pull this? I mean, because granted, you came to us for that secondary advice, but this was your vision. Why did you see a void in the market, and what made you decide to put together Tech Beats and Bytes?
Well, I mean, what you just said, I felt like it was a void. I mean, I had been doing technology,
Give them the backstory.
Yeah.
Let's go
so I used to manage Pitbull pretty much from the beginning.
Dale, Mr. 305, y'all know about him, right? Mr. Worldwide? Yeah.
I used to manage Pitbull pretty much from the beginning of his career, and then I managed him for 13 years. But like the last maybe 5-6 years that I worked with him, I really was focusing on tech because like one of my strengths was always marketing, and I saw like the curve that things were going from like grassroots marketing to digital, online. So I just wanted to be ahead of the curve with everything that I was doing with him. So I started going to Silicon Valley, started going to CES, started going to all the different conferences, and just really just getting involved to educate myself on the process. And in the process, I just really started loving it. But I never really saw like venues like for somebody like myself that just, you know, like I'm not necessarily want to go to like a meetup with just a bunch of people that's just specifically for that. So I wanted to create something that was kind of like a fusion of technology. Maybe you come in for the technology, maybe you come in for the drinks, maybe you come in for the girls, maybe you come in for the food. But it's a fusion of everything all together. And then, you know, if you could come here and you came to get some food, but, you know, you heard people talking and you picked up something there, whatever case may be. And then just the networking. So that's why everybody walking around with tags and says what you do, whatever case may be. So just to connect the dots. So, I mean, I just wanted to create something that was cool like that. That was a purpose of that. But, so where you want me to go with this? So
You went there because it's going to my next question.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't know exactly what you did with, I believe that was called Planet Pit back in the day. So.
Well, I mean, the point of Planet Pit, I was trying to create like a lifestyle, a lifestyle outlet for Pitt, because he had artists, he had a lot of different things going on, but like they were talking about, you didn't want to oversaturate your feed, your Instagram, your Twitter, and you know, Instagram and all that stuff with, you know, promoting other artists and stuff like that. So Planet Pit was a platform that I was trying to create, which was like, I did create, that was like a lifestyle, like kind of like a This Is 50 or like, you know, a site where it was a lifestyle outlet for him to use his numbers that he had in social media, telling people to go to Planet Pit, and then they go to Planet Pit, and it had all content that, you know, people could.
But I think in context, you should tell us what year were you doing this in, because a lot of people don't know the time frame. What year were you building Planet Pit? Oh,
no, this was about 8 years ago.
So we talking about 2010, 2009?
All right, so I brought Pitbull Uber.
Here's the story we want to have. This is the part you might want to take notes on, everybody.
So I started going back and forth to Silicon Valley, trying to see things. And then my whole thing with Pitt was like, you don't want to jump across stage for the rest of your life. You know, you got these people that's building really cool things in Silicon Valley, and they don't have platforms to bring it to the masses. And then you're an artist and you have millions of followers. So it's like, if we can do something organically with a brand, you can help catapult some of these brands. I brought Pitbull Uber for equity.
Hold on, don't. I want y'all to listen to what he's saying. He bought Pitbull equity in Uber. This is the part why you should be getting quiet.
And he passed on it.
Say that one more time. What did he do?
And he passed on it because he didn't understand it at the time. But
what year was this?
This was about 7 years ago.
So we're talking about, I would say at worst, this is probably B-class stocks in Uber at that point because they're just starting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So a B-class stock in Uber is something that you're getting for pennies that's worth hundreds to thousands of dollars at this point.
Right.
So it's not even a 1X, a 3X, or a 5X. With Uber's success, we're talking about a 20X share of opportunity that Pitbull passed on and Teach presented it to him. Continue your story, sir, please.
Right. So, no, I mean, but you know, I'm just giving you an example of like how I was trying to stay ahead of the curve with the technology and things and bring it to the table because I just thought there was opportunities. But fast forward, I did music. I managed Pitbull for 13 years, and then I worked for Polo Grounds Music, which is we had a label deal through RCA, Sony Records. So I work with A$AP Rocky, I work with A$AP Ferg, I've worked with Yo Gotti, all of them were signed to us. And my father passed away in 2013 suddenly. And when my father passed away, kind of like a light switch went off in my head because I started asking myself questions like, you know, if I was to check out tomorrow, what's my legacy? And I just felt like I was putting all my time and my energy into focusing on other people's brands, other people's wealth, and other people's legacy. and I wasn't focusing on my own. So when my father passed away, I kind of made a decision that I wanted to pursue like some kind of passion of my own, and I basically put my money on myself. I went to culinary school years ago, and I basically put my money on myself, and I took a leap of faith. And people was looking at me like I was crazy because I'm walking away from music. I'm walking away from, you know, I had a 6-figure contract with Sony, and then, you know, I just people looked at me crazy because I walked away from the for sure money, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna go open a food truck.
Yeah.
And they like, what are you talking about? You gonna do a food truck? And I'm like, man, listen, I never want to be in a position in my life again where another man controls the way that I feed my family in anything. And so I'd rather have a little truck where I can control what I'm doing over there than be making millions of dollars working for somebody, but I don't control my destiny there. So that was kind of like the thought process there.
Hold up, Toya. I know you about to go there, but
Yeah, go ahead.
is she here? Where's your wife?
Oh, she right there.
So
What up, boss?
let's make this real clear. This man loved food because he met his wife working at Red Lobster. So just if y'all wondering how good those damn biscuits are, them Cheddar Bay biscuits, this man is in love with children because of them Cheddar Bay biscuits from Red Lobster. One time for Red Lobster and the Cheddar Bay biscuits. Let's give them a round of applause.
Okay, and that's that throwback love. Talk about working at Red
Keeping
Lobster.
love together. So
That's beautiful.
I remember that story. That was an amazing story when I read that. So, Teach, you make this transition. You have undoubtedly one of the most successful trucks in South Florida.
Thank you.
And by the way, anybody that wants to argue that, bring me the numbers. One of the most successful trucks in South Florida. What is your vision of where you're trying to take not only your company, but the brand that you've built with Tech Beats and Bytes?
So, I mean, listen, when I, you know, thank God, like I've been blessed to make a lot of money through my career. When I walked away from music, thank God, like I didn't have to make decisions based on finances. I made decisions based on just passion and just, I felt like, so, all right, so I didn't make this decision that easy. Bun B from the legendary UGK. So, like, when I was doing music still, a lot of these guys would come down here and they follow me on Instagram, so they would be hitting me, and they would see like things I cooked on Instagram and my barbecues in my house, stuff like that. And Bun B in particular, he's a good friend of mine. He saw me on at some barbecue. Flo Rida was at my house, something like that. I did a barbecue. He saw the lobster mac, so he's like, bro, next time I come in town, I need that lobster mac. Took him to lobster mac, and then it just turned into ritual. And every time he would come down here, he would ask for the lobster mac. And then Bun B is the one that really just started throwing a battery in my back. He was just like, man, you got something special. And at the time, like again, I'm making money doing the music and I'm doing all this kind of stuff. And he's telling me like, if you don't at least try to do this for yourself, you're never gonna forget yourself later on in life. So he really threw the battery in my back and made me take like the cooking thing more serious. I was thinking it, but he's the one that kind of threw the battery in my back and was like, stop playing and do it. So I did it, but at the time, like when I went into the truck, again, it was more about just like happiness and just trying to figure out a legacy, you know, just figure out a legacy. But I did a food truck because I didn't, you know, initially I wanted to do a restaurant, but a restaurant versus a truck, I mean, numbers is, you know, much different. I wanted to go into from an ownership stand. So my first truck, I went in there and I bought it cash. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to just figure it out because I never ran a restaurant before. I've been doing music. So it's like, okay, cool. And when I got all my licenses, when I did all the research, got food trucks for dummies, and I did all this thing, and I just did the research. I asked other people who had trucks. I just did the research. And then it was just crazy for me because like the music business is so crab in a bucket and cutthroat. And then I rolled out my truck, and it was like I just was getting so much support from the community. It was just different. And then for me to see that, like, I'm just putting my heart and my passion on a plate, and then people was embracing what I was doing like that, I'm like, okay, well, I think I found my purpose in life. And then, you know, I just started building on it from there. But going into it, I mean, I didn't really have a, I got a plan, but so I just got a letter from McDonald's Corporation today, right? So, you know, I got a letter from McDonald's Corporation, a legal letter from McDonald's Corporation today, telling me that we can peacefully coexist. And basically, short version, they basically telling me, like, we see you, do your thing. We're going to let you do your thing. You're using the Mac. We own the Mac. We own the Mic. But, you know, just we watching and don't use world famous fries, right? So, like, I'm sitting there and I got a letter like that today, and I'm like that's McDonald's Corporation at the end of the day. So, you know what I mean? Like, I got to be on somebody's radar and I'm doing something right. And then there's like a train shuttle that they're building down the block.
This is the Bright Line train.
The Bright Line train shuttle thing. And like these people have caught me on part of these $3.5 billion conversations and stuff like that off of something that didn't even exist 2.5 years ago. That was just a thought in my head. So I don't know. I'm just following my purpose. So
go ahead, Toy.
Let's talk about the launch process.
The what?
For the launch process for World Famous House of Mac.
Okay.
Because you come from the music industry, what was your approach to launching your food truck and really getting the following that you have? I
mean, so again, I've lived and breathed music for the last 18 years of my life, right? So, you know, we spend our time and effort at building people's careers from nothing. Like, I go to the hood, I see talent in the artists, and we take them out the hood and make them stars, and, you know, next thing they're buying planes and boats and forget about it, so whatever. Same process. It's just like I treated my brand. So the face on World Famous House of Mac, that's my father. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna eternalize my father through my work, and I made him my logo. I'm like, okay, well, who's the colonel? The colonel is somebody to somebody. All right, cool. Well, I'm gonna take the same thing, but I'm gonna use my father's face, and I treated it like I would treat a project. I treated
KFC. Don't send us no letter. We ain't paying nobody else.
But I treated my project like I treated my artwork like I would treat an album cover. You know what I mean? Like the thought process, I thought it all through. But again, we do that stuff with our eyes closed for other people. Now it's just my own project. So, I mean, it was like it just was natural. All that whole process to me was natural. But in terms of marketing and sharing my story, I never try to like force feed anybody anything. Like, I've always just told my story, and it's been the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, so I might tell the successes that I might have, but I might also talk about like the fact that my truck broke down and we pushing it in front of the car, and so I've been building this from like people that know me like know that like this whole cooking thing started in my backyard. And then people that's following me, they see that like it's transitioned from my backyard to the first truck, to the second truck, to, you know, building the first restaurant now, to building the other restaurant right now. And it's just, it's you know, it's a humbling process. But I share the good, the bad, and the ugly in it. And it's just, I guess because of that, people just feel more of a connection with the brand. I could push 2 for $1, buy this, you know, like, but you know.
Right. You want a more organic experience.
Yeah, it's just organic. I prefer the connection.
Yeah. I think that's a good segue. I remember one of the times Teacher hit me up, and we had an event to do, and this was right when he was about to build a second truck. And he let me know. He was like, look, man, I can't make it. The truck broke down. And I was like, cool, man, just find a kitchen and get the food. And so I bring that point up because you always talk about people in your community that don't get the respect they should, and they just remain humble when they're doing so much. And for a lot of people that don't know, Teach has become pretty much like the big brother, and my Uncle Greg that I lost that died, that's the role that Teach has played in my life. Teach calls me every other morning just to give me advice on how to build my brand and how to grow my business and to grow Digital Grass with LaToya, with Dante, Alicia, Quadira, Rosie, Self-Born. And he's one of those people in the community that just reaches back and takes care of people. And so I want everybody to understand it's not just a truck. Like, that truck is a staple in a community of young entrepreneurs trying to get it that just don't have anybody to reach out to, because in Miami we work in such silos and people don't like to share information. Every time Teach calls me, it's a critique with a build. he's always telling me how to grow, and I've seen him do that for the community. And the reason why I wanted to kind of have that information to share, besides the fact that it's touching to me, that you become like a big brother to me, what has been some of the kickbacks with the things you're doing? Because no matter what you say, jealousy comes in this poise of success, and you've been very successful. How are you overcoming? And I know you got the perfect answer for it because you teach me how to respond to this.
Well, so first of all, as far as with you, still sharp and still. So, I mean, I give critiques, but I take critiques, right? So, you know, sometimes, man, you got people around you, they say they're your friends, they say this and that third, but, like, they don't want to tell you the truth. And the truth just, it hurts sometimes. Like, but in order to grow, in order to embrace growth, you got to be able to accept the truth, right? So if my ticket times is slow on my truck, I need people to let me know this is what it is so I can fix it. You know what I'm saying? If the food is cold, I need you to let me know, hey, man, the food cold, so, okay, cool, it won't happen again. I need to hear it. So, you know, because I'd rather you tell me to my face than tell somebody else or just go on Yelp and, you know what I mean, trash me out. Well, okay, tell me and I'm going to fix it and I'm going to make it right? So still sharp and still. But, what did you say, some of the kickback? Well, I mean, and then in terms of like just, so I just feel, I'm just humble because I've been around a lot of success, other people's success and things like that. And I see people come and I see people go. I'm just a dude, like personally, my personal demeanor, I respect the janitor the same way I respect the CEO because, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just, like, you know what I mean? I'm a man and you know what I mean? I won't respect you like a man unless you make me feel like otherwise. So that's just my mentality going in because you don't never know who you know what I mean? Like, you don't know who you disrespecting. You don't know who you whatever. So if you just respect everybody, you ain't got to worry about that, right? And in terms of hate and people blow back and all of that, I mean, that's just a part of success. And I feel like if that you don't have that, you're doing something wrong. Because you always going to have somebody with some critique and something to say about what you're doing. But if they talking about you, then that means you're doing something right. So, I mean, I just embrace that as part of it. You know what I mean?
Keep talking about tech beats and bytes because we're going to keep doing our damn thing. Go ahead, Toya.
No, so I want to just touch back on the whole legacy and the building for success. When you look at your employees and your team, right? So you've surrounded yourself with some really great people. Talk about how important it is to staff correctly and have the right team.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's been a process for me because, like, I got a really good team right now. I mean, you know, it's been people that's come and go, and you know, again, we're building something. So what I'm building right now, you got to be able to see the bigger picture. It's not just about a truck. It's about a brand that's growing very aggressively. And if you can see the bigger picture, what we're trying to do, I mean, it could change your life. But, you know, I can't convince you to, you know, I can't convince anyone. All I got to do is just kind of paint the picture, give you the opportunity, and then, you know, the rest is on you. But, I mean, it's definitely important to surround yourself with like-minded people and people that understand your vision. That, you know, I could be up here talking right now and I don't need to be on the truck, you know. I mean, that's very important.
Hold on, Toya, before you go to your next question. Guys, if you want to ask a question to teach, because I know a lot of y'all see him, and the first thing you don't realize is this isn't a grizzly bear. This is a big-ass teddy bear. This man is one of the nicest dudes I know. Come up to Dante right here, and we'll filter your questions, but we got like 4 minutes to ask the question. So if you have a question, come up here. Don't wait till the last minute because you'll have to ask them on your own. But I just want to get that out there. Teach, one of the things I want to ask you is, I think me and LaToya, we decided we was going to extend your quick six so you could give a more thorough answer. Besides Brightline, multiple locations in South Florida, what do you see as the vision for World Famous House of Mac and Tech Beats and Bytes 5 years from now?
Well, so in terms of like expansion with World Famous House of Mac, I'm figuring this food thing out, right? And we've been able to build like a really solid brand and be consistent with a good product. One of my major concerns in terms of expansion and growth is just consistency and integrity, brand integrity. Like, I don't want to be the guy that was dope in Wynwood and then the next spot is not as dope. So I'm trying to take my time and figure out the formula that got me to the point where we at right now, so we can replicate that in different locations. But I mean, God willing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but I want to be a global brand. I don't, you know, I would say just franchising or whatever case may be, but
you almost are global because people fly in and get right off. I've seen people come with their luggage right off the airport and come get this food.
And thank God for that. But when I say global, I mean me
worldwide
being there
locations.
where they came from.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Hold on, before you answer part 2, I do want to do this. How many people in here right now have eaten at House of Mac at least once? Wow. So that's about 95%.
I
Right.
appreciate
And for those
you.
who haven't, go ahead and hit that truck in the
Yeah,
back.
if you haven't, we got a special. It's real hot. It's real hot.
What's the special?
Because he don't give no discounts.
Wait.
This man ain't never gave a discount. You saw when he looked at me, he was like, what's the special? It ain't no special. The special is you get to eat it. That is the special.
Special.
All right, so you got that world famous House of Mac, and now it becomes the international brand that it's supposed to be. Tech Beats and Bytes. What does that look like for you 5 years from now?
Tech Beats and Bytes, I feel like it's catching legs on its own. Like, we got people inboxing us, asking us to bring it to Atlanta, bring it here, bring it to Philly. I think Tech Beats and Bytes is taking the natural progression of what it's supposed to be. And, we gotta put a little bit of muscle behind it and a little bit more structure. But, I mean, I think Tech Beats and Bytes is serving the purpose that it's supposed to be serving. And hopefully, we can build this to a much bigger audience. So, we can recreate this in different places as well.
Got you. You just need the truck to be there wherever the different places are.
Right.
Go ahead, Toya.
So a lot of people like to know what success looks like on a day-to-day basis. What is a day in the life of Chef Teach?
Starts at 6 o'clock in the morning. I know that.
I think that, well, since I built the team, because when we first started the truck, I was on the truck 7 days a week. And since we built the team now, I got a little bit more time to myself. I've been able to focus more like on my health and working out and family and just balance. Because, that's the tough part of, like, when you're trying to build something. There's no
Man, say
set
that
hours.
again. Say that again.
There's no, like, set hours. There's no, it's just a grind. You know what I mean? And every day, especially the truck, every day is a different day, right? So, it's like when we were doing Deco Drive, the day we were supposed to go do Deco Drive, the truck didn't start. It was like the starter didn't start. So Deco Drive had to come to my house and shoot in front of my house.
Wow.
And dummy it, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
every day a different day, and we gotta adapt to different circumstances and stuff like that. We're a truck, so we gotta deal with all the elements, the rain, the sun, everything, but
Round of applause for God holding off the rain. It did not rain today because it was storming earlier today. Praise God, whatever God you praise.
Yeah, but
It's okay, I messed up your train of thought. Don't worry about
Right.
it. You answer the question.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Self-born,
Yo,
Self-born got a question for you, so go ahead.
I got to do it. First of all, we got to honor this man because his name is Teach. That means you're going to learn something every time he opens his
You know
mouth.
what? I want to go with that.
What?
How did you get the name Teach? Was it naturally because you always teaching
No.
people?
So when I used to wear glasses. Short story. I used to wear glasses. I'm from Brooklyn. My neighborhood was crazy. I was in the streets a little bit, and
Just a little bit.
I probably my demeanor probably was a little bit different from what I look like. But a lot of people used to say I look like a school teacher. Because
Okay.
of glasses, and then Teach.
See?
It started as teacher, and then went down to Teach, and it's
I've
like
always wanted to ask that question because you always
childhood.
teaching us, but that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then I guess I just lived up to it over the years. But I mean, it was
You are
just
a
a
teacher.
There you go.
childhood nickname that stuck with me through the years.
All right, so teach
Very
us,
cool.
teach us one more time right now. Here's a question.
All right.
It's hard enough, one, to brand yourself initially just as a human being. You've had the success of rebranding. Now, give advice to someone. I don't care if we're talking about someone who was an artist or the drug dealer in the street, because the food truck is actually advice I gave to one of my drug dealing homies. I told him if you're on the block, you could be slanging
Pause.
sandwiches
We're not
and all of
promoting
that.
criminal activities,
But No, I'm telling him instead of doing that,
Exactly.
instead
Right,
of
right.
the alternative, that's what I'm saying. Rebranding. What advice would you give to anybody trying to rebrand themselves?
Good question.
So I had to rebrand myself from music to a chef. But part of the rebranding process, I mean, I had to educate myself in, you know, what I was trying to do. And I mean, for me, that's why the whole Chef Teach thing came, because everybody knew me as Teach, the music guy, and then I had to kind of let people know that I'm doing the food thing now, but then I had to back it up with, it's a combination of a lot of things, because, you know, I could say I'm Chef Teach all day, and you could go to my truck and the food trash, and you ain't so much of a chef, right? So I had to deliver on what I said I was. I had to kind of change the perspective of, you know, what people was looking at me as, and you know, it's just grind. I mean, you know, there's no one size fit all. It's not a one size fit all kind of situation. Because, listen, I tell my story a lot to people, right? But like one of the main things I always say is like, you know, it's not like a cookie cutter situation. It's not one size fit all. Meaning that like, what worked for me and like my journey and my story and what worked for me, it might not work for you. You might need to try a different approach. And it's the same thing with artists. Like what I did for Pitbull might not be the same approach I'm taking for A$AP Rocky, or, you know what I mean? It's like every situation is a different situation, but you need to be able to go into the situation, assess the terrain, and then just figure it out. You know what I mean? You just need to be able to think. And, you know, like I play chess, so I just look at life as chess. Like it's not checkers. You just got to just be able to like look at situations and try to think two, three moves ahead and figure it out. But you got to educate yourself in. I couldn't just jump into food. I had to pull all my licenses. I had to do everything the same way a restaurant would do it.
Right.
And ignorance is not an excuse. So like if a health inspector or somebody show up and I don't have my stuff in my paperwork in order, they're going to shut me down. And me saying I didn't know any better is not an excuse. So I still had to do my legwork, do my due diligence, figure it out, and then just hustle.
Yeah, and that speaks volumes, because I think a lot of times when people think about opening up a restaurant, they just like, I'll just get a general manager, and I'll kind of step out, but it's not, that doesn't happen.
You're absolutely right.
So this is my GM right here. Well, he got some drinks. I don't know what's going on right now, but hey, yo, what you got going on, man? All right. So
Reggie, yes.
So for instance, right? So like Reggie had a 9 to 5. Nah. So like Reggie had a 9 to 5 doing something else. Always was like my little homie, whatever the case may be. And then when I started doing the truck thing, I'm like trying to put a team together, and he believed in my vision. He quit his job. He was like, "I'm riding with you."
That's what's up. Round of applause for Reggie for quitting his job to make a
shout out to Reggie.
So
that's what it's called, to believe in the home team.
Right, GM of the month.
So I'm saying, like, you know, like real talk. What's up, boy? So like real talk, like, you know, he saw something in me, and then I see something in him. I see leadership skills in him, and I believe in him. So I could have went and hired, you know, somebody that worked at Chili's for 20 years and just put them in place, whatever. But I'd rather pick my peoples up and build them up and put them in position and just grow together. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, but again, that's part of like putting together a team and trying to find people to do the right things, and because leadership starts from the top down.
All right.
So
exactly.
So we know Imaginary Players is the theme song for Chef Teach. That's Jay-Z Reasonable Doubt, just in case if you don't listen to real rap music. But Teach, 5 years from now, Miami Herald has the perfect headline on the newspaper. Everybody here 5 years from now pick up that newspaper. What's the headline for the newspaper? I know. We got to give you one tough question. This is the first time I think I had Teach pause.
We got some from the audience.
There you go. Boss just hands. The House of Mac goes global. God willing.
There it is. 5 years from now, House of Mac goes global. By the way, the man is going to be able to be available at the bar.
I'm going to need this footage, though, so I can play it back.
Right.
I'm just putting it in the universe, though, like for real. House of Mac goes global. House of Mac goes global. House of Mac goes global.
Exactly. Time capsule it.
It's going to happen. Out. So tonight, we don't need you to buy our speaker a drink. We need you to go buy some food from the speaker. That's the way to make it happen tonight. But regardless of what could have happened and what might have happened, this is going to be one of the most epic shows of Tech Beats and Bytes, because you got all the founders on the stage. You only missing 2 people. So let's give a round of applause for Chef Teach from House of Mac. Thank you to world famous House of Mac. Thank you to Digital Grass, and thank you to Knight Foundation. Once again, let's give another round of applause to the most amazing co-host in the world. That is going to be LaToya Stirrup. Let's give her a round of applause.
Ain't nobody had no questions for me, man?
I think they too scared to ask you questions, man. They're going to come to the truck.
Yeah, you're going to get questions.
We're going to give you questions. So this is what we're going to do, y'all. We're going to shut it down, and we're going to go ahead and enjoy yourself. Make sure you go get some food. Take you some mac and cheese home. But thank you very much. This is part 2, so we appreciate it.